Hi, Mark Rothfield for Club Marine TV, and this is the new flagship of Riviera Australia's Sport Yacht range, called the 6800 Platinum Edition. Recently, I was privileged to see its world-exclusive premiere on a magical night after 3 years of design development. With me were over 30 families who were even luckier because they had pre-purchased off the plan. And to see their faces that evening when they finally got to see their boat was priceless. It was sunset, there were spotlights, there was a guy in a tuxedo singing on the bow, and I was so blown away then that I can't wait to show you aboard now. So stay tuned. With me is Stephen Milne, the Brand and Communications Director at Riviera Australia. And Stephen, from the designers I've spoken to, the craftspeople, many of them have said that this is one of the best Rivieras they've ever worked on, which is a big call after 6,000 plus boats. But it looks like no stone was left unturned.
Well, Mark, thank you very much. We're immensely proud of the 6800. It's the sum total of 44 years worth of boat building knowledge and the launching of more than 6,000 motor yachts in that period of time by Riviera. So our extremely credentialed design team who've been with us for a long time and working in partnership with our international designer, Luca Vallabona from Italy, taking feedback from our owners around the world, our dealer network around the world, and our senior team has created what is undoubtedly an exceptional new Riviera. And the reaction to her at the premiere this year was incredible.
So why a 68-footer in the current market?
The Platinum Edition has been extremely popular for Riviera around the world. We've launched more than 170 6,000 sports yachts. That's a 60-footer. The 6,000 offers a lot of volume and a lot of space, but many of those owners were wanting a bigger boat. Their families are growing, they're wanting to do more entertaining, they're wanting to cruise further afield for longer periods of time, and the 6800 really answers all of their dreams in terms of amenity, design, space, and ease of use.
Tell us how the Sport Yacht collection sits alongside the other models in your ranges. What do you see as the unique features and purposes?
The beauty of the Riviera collection is that we have 23 different designs that range in size from 39 to 78 feet. And within that model collection, we have motor yachts, sports motor yacht, SUV, and sport yachts. And each of those offers very different amenity. People who want a sport yacht love that one level living. They want to use this incredible outdoor area here on the foredeck, but they want to have a tender garage and they want to have that beach effect that we've now created on the stern of this boat where that platform just sinks into the water with the steps. So it's a different style of boat to say an SUV, which is still a one level boat, but it's got the all-water sports cockpit and the raised alfresco deck. So it really is choice. And that's what makes Riviera different and better on the global scale, that we offer these different designs, but they all have one thing in common, and that's the Riviera legendary blue water hull performance.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Mark.
Stephen mentioned the 6800 underwent exhaustive design process, and you can see examples of the quality, that obsession for perfection right throughout. European styling came courtesy of Luca Vallabona, who also worked on the 78 motor yacht. And it has American sizing combined with Australian ingenuity. So you get the best of all worlds. In fact, it's a global boat built right here on the Gold Coast. Taking a look around, the boarding platform is a great example. The simple thing would be to create just a one-piece lifting platform. but then instead they've created an articulating system that gives you 2 cascading steps. So when you lower it, forms a nice beach, easy transition down. Either side you have 2 grand teak-lined stairwells leading you up to the aft deck. Garage here. Inside you can put a 3.7 metre tender. It has everything you need in there to launch it, a cradle, a winch system. And here we have a service access door. So technicians coming aboard bringing oil or whatever can go straight into the engine room rather than dragging that all the way through the interior. Garage door open, and talk about thinking of everything. They've equipped it with its own air pump, so you don't have to go searching for that one somewhere in a drawer. It's all here, ready to go if you need to top up the tender or inflate a water toy. And another great feature is a shower. Now, turn that on and there's a rose incorporated in this moulding. On the aft deck, which provides almost 14 square metres of pure indulgent relaxation and entertainment space. It's a front row seat to the Med, to the Whitsundays, to Florida Keys, to the Gold Coast Broadwater, where we happen to be now, wherever you are in the world. Of course, only mad dogs, Englishmen and Instagram models go out in the midday sun. So it's really good to see this overhang providing full shade protection to the cockpit. If you do want to let some sunlight in, then open up this sunroof. Also beautiful on starry nights to have that extra view. Great new feature is this breezeway blind. Sits in a nice sturdy frame. It's really effective. This breezeway blind can drop down and provide protection from the sun in the afternoons. Also privacy if you happen to be berthed stern to at a marina. Has a forward facing lounge, so 5 or 6 people can sit here facing forwards when you're underway or simply enjoying their cocktails. It's allowed the designers to move the dinette further forward. So you get this big L-shaped lounge, very spacious table here, so you can add some ottomans and have 7 or 8 people sitting around here really comfortably. Gets wind protection from the bulkhead, gets extra privacy from the fact there's a tinted quarter screen here and some clears. In fact, on cold days, if you happen to be in a part of the world that doesn't get beautiful Gold Coast weather, you can enclose this whole area with clears, and that then becomes an extension of the saloon. The wet bar to starboard is a really important feature, and it's suitably sized. Lovely finish with the stone bench tops. They've bought the platinum livery inside. Great colour scheme that adds just that extra class. I like to see the fact that it's got both a barbecue and a hot plate. Has its own exhaust fans to get rid of that barbecue smoke. There's a sink forward. Has its own water system. Garbage compartment, and also refrigeration underneath. Everything you're going to need for entertaining. More fine attention to detail and big boat thinking right here. Hatch puts all your ropes out of the way so you don't trip over them on the floor, or worse, they can fall out the back. Huge sturdy cleats. This opens up the boat visually, breaks that topside height line, but it also allows your stern lines to come in from a variety of angles and makes a really comfortable seat when you have a full cockpit. You can sit here really comfortable and still engaged with everyone on board. And finally, there's a coaming gate here. So in Europe and other places that have high docks, to open up this coaming, open up this door, and you can step straight out. Like with all Rivieras, nice wide side deck access. So transition to the bow is really safe. You have thigh height coamings here. There's a pantograph door amidships, so if you're at the helm, you don't have to come all the way back here. Another really important feature when you're berthing is this cockpit docking station, and there's one either side. What a fantastic socialising area up here at the bow. First thing you notice is a little teak step here, just to tell me that I need to step up. And you will never ever need to step onto the cushions because there's this fantastic walkway leading you right into the heart of this entertainment zone. 8 to 10 people can sit really comfortably around here. Drop a couple of teak tables in here. You can erect a Euro awning on those hot days. And there's also twin sun pads. And these are really clever in the way you can have two backrests. So if you want to face forwards and soak up some rays, if you want to stay engaged with your friends talking here, then you raise the front and you can sit facing backwards. There's also really good storage for your fenders and an ice box, so you will never have to go back to the cockpit to get a drink. You know the feeling when you walk into the lobby of a grand hotel? Well, it's similar when you enter the saloon of the Riviera 6800. The elegance, the finishes, the quality are world-class, bar none. There may be one level, but there's a palpable step up in luxury. At the same time, that outdoor ambience remains here. You have that light, bright feeling, it's engaged with the environment, and that is helped by the fact that the awning, the sunroof, and the side windows all open electrically. The aft galley is located right where it needs to be, snuggled between the alfresco dinette and also the internal dinette. So you can not only feed the hungry crowds aboard, but you can also converse. Love the fact it has these white stone bench tops, waterfall edge, and it contrasts beautifully with these timber cabinetry. And you have premium quality appliances as you'd expect. Opposite is your refrigeration. So you have a full height fridge, plus you have 2 fridge drawers and 2 further drawer freezers. So plenty of cold storage. This is your bar area as well. So it has wine fridge, its own sink as well. So the crew will literally be cheering. Imagine relaxing on this luxurious leather lounge, feet up, watching the big screen TV. Underneath me is a table, so you can erect this into a dinette. You could play cards, have more drinks, or whatever. 5 or 6 of my closest friends with me here. Opposite is another sofa, so 3 people can sit there, and there's a companion lounge forward. So that actually faces forward, so when you're driving, the skipper has some company. I'll talk more about the Helm station when we're driving, but I should mention it's a new design for the 6800, and I love the presentation. It has 2 tiers, so they've got 3 Garmin screens across the top screen, right in eye line where you need it. There's a C-Zone screen and Volvo Penta, switch panels, everything is beautifully presented. When it comes to accommodation, you can sleep up to 8 people in 4 staterooms. The hull outside has really nicely balanced lines, but inside you see the real benefit of having high top sides, large hull windows. For starters, so much space, great headroom, and really nice views out all of the cabins. Currently in the portside cabin, it has single beds, but these can slide together to form a good sized double. Nice views straight out to the water, storage, and it has ensuite access to the dayhead. To starboard is a slightly smaller cabin. It has overlapping bunks. If you choose the 3 stateroom layout, that can be your lower atrium lounge. Really nice place to sit, read, relax. Can't believe how big this VIP cabin is. Hull obviously has more volume up forwards than it looks from outside, and they've been able to push that bulkhead quite well forward. So you get this queen size island berth with really good access either side. Once again, so much headroom in here. Twin hanging lockers, ensuite, Honestly, what more could you want? What more can you ask for? Well, I guess the answer is this master suite. It's the first time I've been in here because I wanted my reaction to be authentic. And my gosh, it is one of the nicest bedrooms I have ever seen. Huge king-size bed, central, quality parquetry timber behind it, just reflecting that light. Good sized TV, lovely furniture, such high quality finishes right throughout. You have a sofa, lovely carpet underfoot, really soft, keeps it nice and quiet in here. And it's also one level, while over to starboard is the door to the ensuite. Inside, that ensuite is just huge. A luxury penthouse apartment should be so well appointed. They've kept that white benchtop theme going, twin sinks, has its own shower compartment, and the head is also in its own area, beautifully finished. I think you'd look into that large mirror every day and say, how good is this? This is a utility room, which gives a lot of flexibility to the layout. You can access it straight from the master suite. If you need some privacy, you can have second doors here, so you can lock this up and it becomes a crew cabin as you see it now. It's also a dedicated laundry. If you don't want a crew cab, it's fantastic storage, even a workbench down here. As you see it now, has its own toilet compartment, has its own sink, even has its own microwave. And it's not stuffy at all. You get great views out this window and an opening port. Well, here's the engine room, and what an amazing compartment it is. Really easy access from the back or through that crew cab utility door. Moulding right here is for your tender bay, but you have so much headroom either side of it and a walkway so you can get to all parts of this compartment. Great servicing access to the things you need to monitor as well. You've got your fuel filters, your strainers, an oil exchanger, also really good servicing access to the Volvo Penta IPS 1350 motors that produce 1,000 horsepower each. They've spec'd this with twin gensets. There's a 29 kilowatt and there's a secondary one to starboard that produces 13 kilowatts, so plenty of power. To make it easy to manage all that power, here's a great feature. It's a smart switch panel that when they're set to auto, you can turn your batteries on and off using your C-zone systems upstairs. The 6800 runs what they say is one of the most advanced battery management systems ever seen in one of these boats. You have 6 250 amp hour lithium iron phosphate batteries, really safe, all in steel boxes, beautiful position. Now that gives you 1500 amp hours to use when you're at anchor without having to summon the genset. So you can run your fin stabilizers overnight and other systems and still have power next morning. More examples of engineering excellence that appeal to the nerd in me. For starters, they have dual hose clamps, but these are also marked to show that each one has been torque tensioned. Same with critical bolts, such as these for holding the engine. You know that they've been torque tensioned, and if they're out of alignment at any stage, then you can see that during your inspections. Here's the fresh water manifolds, so clearly marked, blue for cold, red for hot, obviously. In terms of water, there's 800 litres for fresh water split between 2 tanks, and they self-level. Beneath the floor, there's a giant 4,500 litre tank that actually stretches under the boat into the master cabin to maintain balance. And there's 500 litres of black water. Construction, this whole boat was moulded using infusion technology. They vacuum that down, inject the resin, and you get the best possible laminate. Strong, light, shows the lengths they've gone to ensure this model is as flawless as it can be. All really impressive, but I reckon we should summon these motors and see what the 6800 is really made out of. Right now we're at rest offshore, Gold Coast, a little bit of a swell, not much, and our Humphrey fin stabilisers are switched off. This is an incredible feature to stabilise the boat even at rest. So just hit a couple of buttons, and right now those fin stabilisers will settle us down. You can really feel it now. It's just starting, there it is, starting to control against this side chop. I really love this Helm station as well. Great ergonomics, really comfortable leather lounge. Everything falls beautifully to place. Your arm falls straight onto the throttles, joystick, everything's here right where you need it. So much information in front of me. I've got the moment we've got the cameras showing downstairs into the engine room and also into the cockpit, so you can see exactly what's going on through the boat. These other screens, you can have whatever you want. You have your radar, your sounders, chart plotters, all beautifully presented in front of me. And you have a repeater screen here for the Volvos and the C-Zone. I can switch everything on and off here. At the same time, there are these manual switches backlit so you can see them really clearly. So let's get this boat underway now. Really look forward to this moment when you get a brand new Riviera. Nice sea conditions here at the moment. Not much breeze, just a little bit of residual swell from the south. That's just in gear now. It's so quiet, you noticed as well. We've got the back door closed, but those engines are beautifully sealed and soundproofed. That's 8 knots at the moment, barely ticking over. At 8 knots, you get a range of something like 1,350 nautical miles, which is huge. We're using about 30 litres an hour, and we've got 4,500 litres at our disposal. Could sit like this all day. Just bump it up a little bit now though. The fins are starting to work. It's also got the Humphrey interceptor tabs as well. So those work together. Everything's automated. So I really don't have to touch anything. Just concentrate on steering, set your speed. Oh, that is beautiful there. That's about 12 knots. Fuel's just jumped up a bit, 82 litres an hour. In my right hand, I have 2,000 horsepower at my disposal. Underneath, I've got 37 tonnes of boat as well. This fingertip light, very responsive on the helm. That's one finger steering. Beautiful. Let's bring it back on track now. It's a glorious day out here. Bumping it up now, 13 knots there. Fuel's now about 120 litres an hour. One of the things I noticed about the fuel figures though is you get the same litre per nautical mile ratio at 13 knots as you do at 24 knots, which says to me, let's give it some. So up she goes onto the plane. Those tabs and the fins are working beautifully together. 20 knots now, skipping along. Such an easy transition, really efficient hull. The IPS motors are renowned for that efficiency. They've got the big dual propellers, great bite. 20 knots, 220 litres an hour, which is still really good for a boat of this size. Up now, let's see, about 24 knots. That's around about that sort of 80% engine load there. Fuel usage is still fantastic. And it's just riding so effortlessly. Cocooned in this beautiful cabin. That is 25 knots now. You could sit here all day at those speeds in most sea conditions. Hardly any spray, nothing coming aboard. It's a little bit more to go yet. Top speed is around about 32.5 knots. The name Sport might suggest it would be a little bit quicker, up closer to 40 knots, but that isn't Riviera style. They build long-range blue water cruising yachts, and this boat still forms part of that heritage. So quiet, so comfortable at this speed. Why would you want to go any quicker anyway? Just put the boat through some turns now. This is at 30 knots. We're just going to throw a little through a turn here. Fingertip control. You can take your hands off the steering wheel and it keeps that turn. That is full lock. The Volvos are holding all those revs through the turn. That is, yeah, this is really impressive. Just drop it back now into that sort of more, that cruising air. I think 24, 25 knots. That is the perfect rate for this sort of cruising off the coast. Really comfortable, so quiet again. I think your typical sport yacht owner, they want to be comfortable, they want to relax, they want to indulge, they want to entertain with their friends. They also want to have a nice boat to drive. Something that looks great, something that performs well, something that will go the distance. And I can see where the time has been spent in getting everything right. This hull is fully infused, so it saves weight, makes it incredibly strong, reduces the amount of resin, everything becomes far more efficient. So that the hull can handle anything that the ocean can throw at it. Just coming around again, another full turn. Honestly, turns are so much fun in this boat, you just want to keep bringing it around. Turning circle's actually really tight. Again, 68 feet of boat and it's just throwing itself around there. Hardly any heel. Those fins are just keeping us on the perfect angle. Just going to bring it back now. Just want to see how it gets out of the hole. The mark of any good hull and any good relationship with its motors is how well it gets onto the plane. So just bring it back, out of gear, and ready to go. We're giving it some now. That's full throttle, and off we go. 10 knots already, climbing 17, 18 knots. The bow does not lift in the slightest. Taking the chop in its stride. This boat really is a diamond in the rough. Lovely, lovely V sections carving through. Looks beautifully trimmed as well. They've set these fins and tabs up perfectly. So it's always efficient. That's about 30 knots at the moment. We're not quite seeing maximum. At the moment, we're using 380 litres per hour. So that brings your full range back to around about 350 nautical miles. That's 1,000 less than if you're doing 8 knots, but somewhere between that. I think that sort of mid-range planing speeds, again, it's affordable, it's efficient, and it's fun. And at the finish of a fantastic day in the water, just want to walk you through one of the other great features, which is Volvo's Dock Assist. The 68 comes with a bow thruster, and that integrates into the joystick, which is a really clever feature. So I engage Docking Assist, and it shows me on the screen that we're in that mode, and you also get a position, so you can see your boat within a circle. Now, just by simple adjustments of that, you can move the boat in incremental distances, so about 1 metre. So as you come into the dock, a couple of little nudges on that and you will come in to exactly where, and then it will hold station. This is also your dynamic position system as well, when you're offshore or when you're coming in and you want to set your fenders and everything. A nudge it sideways and the boat will position itself there and then hold on. You can see how much assistance you're getting from the thrusters and also how much the pods are working as well. You can control the boat if joystick steering as well, so at high speeds you have a function where you can just push this button, full speed, just control it like you're flying a plane. Also simple, straightforward docking. So here we are, now we're in joystick mode. You can bring the boat around, just drive it straight as a joystick. And then of course You've also can use the thruster, hit that and you can just control the thruster. Now here I've also got a thruster control, but that's fantastic when you're using the docking station in the stern, because you can use docking assist and you get thruster and the pods working together. So fantastic. You really don't want to be scratching this boat. In my case, I can't afford it, so I certainly can't break it. What a machine, what a marvel the 6800 Sport Yacht really is. You can see where all that time, effort and energy went into the design. Riviera strives for diamonds where others are content to build rocks. The hull is so smooth offshore and it's just as smooth and sophisticated inside. If you're into effortless cruising with your family, elegant relaxation with your friends, if you want a boat that's beautiful to look at and a joy to own, then take a very good long look at this beautiful motor yacht. I'm Mark Rothfield for Club Marine TV. Thanks for watching.